Before I ask the other two questioners to comment, so Emma, your question.
Okay, just returning to a point previously, a lot of the stuff that's been talked about with the learning mindset does worry me a little bit, because I think when we start talking about that, the emphasis is always put on the individual to have the right mindset rather than the awareness of the environment in which that individual finds themselves. So I'd like to emphasise maybe more the points that Joyce made when we talked about the 5 different barriers that are there. And it just worries me if we talk a lot about learning mindset that it's almost, well, if you haven't achieved and adapted to AI, you've got the wrong mindset, not because you're aware of the barriers that are around you. And to build on the point that Lucy said, it was with her comment about how AI could make our world, hopefully, more socially just. How could the education system help using AI to make the world more socially just?
I think it's the responsibility of society. That mindset piece, I don't see it as being the individual. Okay. I think it's our responsibility to ensure that right from the start we do that, and if we haven't, we put it right. So I absolutely agree. Okay. It's a much richer thing, and it is our responsibility to do that. In answer to the social justice, I genuinely believe if we get it right, this can be a huge force for social mobility, for addressing many of the injustices. We really can help people value skills that we haven't valued before. Because actually the point about cost is, what do we value? Do we value the amount we spend on teachers, but then they leave the profession? The amount we spend on students and they're not ready for the workplace? So I think the big challenge is ethics. And at the moment, none of the government initiatives are focusing enough on the ethics within the technology, the AI, the robotics, and education specifically. Because actually that will drive the social justice. Because if we get the ethics right and we design the right principles and the right frameworks, then the systems that we design will be designed to try and engage diversely. Diverse workforces, but systems to ensure that everybody in society can benefit across all of the diverse populations that we have. So it's an ethical issue that we really need to focus on. And interestingly, that was the primary focus of the House of Lords report on artificial intelligence.
Maybe just one quick employer perspective, that curiosity is something that we have tried to encourage in our engagement with schools, but actually we're encouraging with our workforce, and to stay curious. That the learning mindset, I think, is incredibly important. I would challenge myself to stay relevant at a time of almost constant change, and I think one thing we can predict is even more change in the future, the acceleration of technology and its impact on our lives. But I think in terms of social justice, one of the things that we could do is to emphasise even more in education the pathways into apprenticeships, routes that are more inclusive fundamentally because of their geography, because of their learning and assessment styles. And actually, we really value, as employers, apprentices who come to work for us, 575 of them in our system this year. But that, to me, is a much more inclusive route to bringing people into the world of work. And of course, some of them are deeply immersed in technology such as robotics and AI and cloud, the things that actually they're very quickly contributing back into our organisation.
I absolutely agree that it's not just the learning mindset of an individual, the environment matters, and what matters more is the opportunity, because if there is bias, if people don't have the opportunity, and if people don't have the confidence, then the problem will persist. So what can we do to build social justice? I think you need a local partnership for AI in education and in business. You need to bring teachers, technologists, and learners together, and learners and teachers and employers need to be at the heart of this conversation.